last 5.5 years. I lead the experience design team at Dr. Reddy's. I have with me GV Prasad. I think he doesn't need an introduction. You all know he is the MD and co-chairman at Dr. Reddy's. And we thought we would do this live with all of you because a lot of you have questions about the organization and the way in which the strategic direction of the organization is going. And we thought, who better to answer some of these questions than Prasad himself? So we got a lot of questions from you, and we took them and we filtered down to the top 7 questions. So I will first ask those questions, and at the end of it, we will take your questions live as well, and we will ask him those questions as well. So let's get started. So Prasad, first of all, thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
So Prasad, you've been leading this organization for around 35 years now, and you've seen the company evolve, people, culture, a lot of things happened, I'm sure, over the last 35 years. If I had to ask you some of the things that have not changed when it comes to the culture and the people of the organization, what would that be?
So firstly, I'd like to thank all the guys who are on this call. Thank you for your interest in joining Dr. Reddy's. We look forward to some of you at least coming in and being part of what we do. You asked me what hasn't changed first, right? I think the entrepreneurial energy in the organization is still very much alive. People want to create value, people want to connect the dots, people want to serve patients. So that energy, I think, is one big thing, which hasn't changed, and I hope it won't change. Also, the desire to be a pioneer, to do things which others cannot do or haven't done, that's another big thing which has been part of the organization since it was founded. It's still continuing. And third, I think the values that we have, among them, the one which stands out for most people who worked at Dr. Reddy's is respect. Respecting people irrespective of their position, and treating them well is something which is kind of an ingrained in our culture. What has changed is we have become a little bigger in size, and size brings its own challenges. Some of the things that we've been talking in the recent past to change is about the speed with which we work, the bureaucratic processes that we have in place. So some of those we are working on, and we hope to change.
Okay. So,
the good part of size is also it gives us a license to do things we couldn't have done when we were small. Today we take big bets. We acquired a consumer health products business in Europe, which is a global business. Many other transactions we do are all possible because of our size and our resources today.
Okay. Okay. So, Prasad, there is this something you speak about quite a bit. This term, actually, this is the first time I heard this term was at Dr. Reddy's. This idea of, enabling people to unleash their full potential. And I've actually seen that term even in some of your very early communication, where you said that as an organization, that is one of our core purposes as well. So, how did that come about, and what does it really mean?
So I am a firm believer that there is a lot of potential in each of us. We only access a small portion of it. For whatever reasons, our belief system, our experiences, the organizational context, the role you are in, and all of that. I firmly believe that only by unleashing the potential of people can an organization become great. We need to have the best scientists, the best technologists. We have them. But are they fully utilizing their faculties, fully utilizing their knowledge to make an impact? And that is what I want to do. I want to remove constraints, restraining forces, which prevent people from really reaching their full potential as individuals. And that's what it means when I say that we want to see people unleash their full potential and become the best version of themselves. And I hope Dr. Reddy's culture promotes that. All the individuals, leaders in this organization see it as their responsibility to get the best out of everybody and make them the best version of themselves.
Okay. So, when at this point, a lot of people who are considering joining the organization, let's imagine that they're applying and they're looking at 2 or 3 organizations. Given the present strategic direction of the organization, what kind of person should apply to our company today?
I don't know if there's a mold for that, but there are some qualities I look for and treasure and value. One is curiosity to keep learning. The way the world is changing, the way our fields are changing, the way the knowledge is expanding at exponential rates. If you're not that curious, if you're not that learning, you get saturated very fast. And that's one of the things that I look for: ability to learn rapidly, even if it's not your field. To go and understand what's happening and connect the dots. So learning is certainly one. Second thing is, I also don't want people to think that they know it all. And we've seen some of those people. I want people who are humble enough to acknowledge that they won't have all the solutions ever, and they'll have to go out, seek help from wherever it is to get that help. The third one is as you step into roles of leadership, you have to energize people, you have to inspire them, you have to elevate them. And how you manage people and how you bring the best out of people is another trait I look for. But maybe for an entry level person, that's further down the journey. And of course, we need ambitious people wanting to change the world.
Okay. So on a lighter note, I mean, I hope it's a lighter note, but there's so much conversation around young people, because you said people who are much younger, at an entry level. They've done some sort of studies, and everybody online is talking about how Gen Z is one of the worst generation to work with, and this is a lot of the news folks are talking about it. So you've worked with various types of people, various generations. What are your thoughts on Gen Z and the younger folk today?
So I don't have a clear understanding of what Gen Z is, what Gen X is, what Gen Y is. My daughter sent me a list of definitions, but I didn't read it. But
So
I don't see any difference. There is a certain irreverence that I see in the very young people, that they don't have, they don't fear authority, which is a good thing for me. That means they're able to handle you as an equal. Uh, I also see that if they are not interested in the work they're not doing, if they're not inspired by that, they'll go away and they'll do something else which inspires them, and that's good too. To for people to follow their passion rather than be entrapped into a job which they hate. So I haven't seen anything negative about young people. I don't know if the Gen Z, X, Y, Z, I don't know. But I'm actually quite hopeful about this next generation. They seem to be more aligned to environmental causes, being kind to each other, being more responsible in how their lifestyles are. I mean, they dress differently, they do look differently, but that's okay.
Yeah. Fair. Okay. So this entire effort, Prasad, this destination Dr. Reddy's, in a way, it is, telling the fact that we as an organization are not going for campus placements per se anymore, and we are going tier agnostic. We no longer are looking at the tiers as a way of hiring people. And it's very against the grain compared to what other organizations are doing. So why is it that we have gone in this direction?
So I think over the years, we have all seen people shine brilliantly, irrespective of their pedigree. So we are not as enamored by credentials or pedigree as we are by individuals who have that fire in them, who have that drive in them, who have that intelligence in them, various intelligences, not just intellectual sharpness, but really emotional intelligence, perception, intuition, all of these things, discipline. These can come from anywhere. I'm sure there'll be a day when we don't even look at degrees. We'll be degree agnostic or even education agnostic, because the way AI is moving and the way you can learn things, I don't know if a formal education will have the same value 10 years from now. Maybe today it's too early to say that, but the fastest growing university in the world is this Arizona State University, which nobody heard of. But their online programs are designed so well, and you can take their courses from anywhere and learn very fast. So in the past, I think these elite institutions acted as filtration mechanisms so that the brightest people come to the top. And I don't know if that hypothesis is true anymore. I've seen brilliant guys who have had a very modest beginning and not any fancy degrees, but making a great impact in many organizations. So in a way, I thought we should evaluate, do proper evaluation, but don't be swayed by pedigree.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So, because you were talking about the younger folk and the way in which careers have also evolved over time, like the span of careers have decreased dramatically. People are looking for more opportunities to learn, shift roles, try different things much faster than they did in the past, maybe. So, as an organization, are we receptive to this fact that someone after 2 years says, I want to go to this other role and learn something else?
See, the best leaders that I've seen have both depth and breadth. So to just say that I'm going to do a variety of roles and just flitting around will not get you very far. You need to get some depth somewhere. And that depth is your foundation. Breadth is very important also. You have to understand how value is created across the organization, how the various parts work together. So work going across is great, but after you get some depth. If you don't get depth, you'll forever remain a superficial leader. So my argument would be that yes, you should move around, but after you gain some depth, you feel confident of the depth, the skill that you have depth in, and then move across and see the connections to the world.
Okay. Yep. So, one last question from our group, and then we can take questions from the people online. If there were two people who were working within our organization, they both had the same skill sets, they were good at the same things when it comes to their technical abilities, etc. Which what kind of qualities would make one succeed in Dr. Reddy's over the other? Behavioral qualities, according to you, will make a person succeed with us.
So taking responsibility for outcomes. If both of them have the same skills, the person who owns up the problem, solves it, and moves forward is the person who will go ahead. And not a guy who will wait for permission, but who will ask for forgiveness after doing it. We need that kind of drive in our people to own a problem, solve it, and then move forward. And nobody is going to crucify you if you did a great thing. So I find too many people sitting in their seats, not moving till they get orders. And that is a problem for me. I like initiative. I like people to take ownership, solve problems, even without anybody telling them. I look for such initiative.
Okay. We have some questions coming from people online. So one of the question is, how do you look at technology influencing the future of our organization?
That's a very broad question. Technology could mean anything. It could mean information technology, scientific technology, technology and how patients are treated. All of these will have an impact. Certainly, IT has already started making dramatic impact in the way we do things, how work gets done. At least it's visible to me now that things will change fast. Many routine jobs will be automated, uh, and many things will need less effort because of intelligent systems, artificial intelligence driven modeling. We've also seen how AI can shape our innovation journey. So a lot of stuff is happening out there, and certainly in our various businesses, technology, as I define it as information technology, will play a dramatic impact, dramatic role. It'll really make things very different.
What about the not IT? Like just say the evolving technology.
Okay, so the field which is evolving the most rapidly is biology. The understanding of biology was limited in the past, but today with the tools we have, the high, fidelity analytics we have, the computational power we have, the analytical instruments we have, all of this is helping us gain much greater insights into how the human body functions. And as a result, solutions are going to be found much faster. We've not yet seen the impact of that in the field, but we can see the signs that technology will be a force multiplier.
Okay. Um, what would be your advice to someone who wants to grow in core scientific roles?
I would be delighted to see such people. And today, very few people are taking up this role of being experts. Expertise has become much more important today because especially the fields are evolving so fast, and you can make a great impact by being an expert. Uh, uh, you know, I've seen people with deep expertise transforming the economics of a production process tenfold. I've seen scientists finding solutions to long intractable problems through their intuition as well as their depth in science. So we love such people who will focus on something and become really good at it. We have a lot of general managers, we have very few specialists.
How do you look at someone creating long-term impact in pharma from a pharma perspective?
It's a very broad question. There are many ways you can do that. You can do it by taking medicines to the parts of the world where there's no access. You can dramatically change the economics of a process and make the product much more affordable. You can identify unmet medical needs, orchestrate the science to find new products, new solutions for these unmet needs, and which can really solve disease problems. So there are many ways you can make a difference.
Okay. Uh, there's a question about how do you see biotechnology growing in India? Because you spoke a little about it, but
so biotechnology is a very broad term, and sometimes we have a definitional issue there. But broadly, if you consider biotech as innovating to find new medicines, I think it's an area where India is underinvested in. But I think we are beginning to see a few companies ramp up and find innovative solutions. But we are at the very early stages of this evolution of biotechnology. Biosimilars, I wouldn't consider biotechnology. They're more like complex bioequivalent versions of large molecules. So I think if you look at biotech and consider it as using living systems to find innovative ways of doing things or finding new ways of doing things, that we are at an early stage still.
okay. Which international market does Dr. Reddy see the most potential in, and how is it adapting its go-to-market strategy based on that?
Well, the largest market is US, and but the generic industry there is kind of saturated. A lot of Indian competitors have become made the market unattractive today. There's occasionally a big hit, but by and large, it's a very price-driven market. But the innovation market is the largest again in the US. That has a lot of potential because it's a long-drawn process. Branded generics are a good sustainable source of revenue. The large markets for are India, Brazil, some other Latin American markets, China, a few other markets like that. India continues to be quite attractive for that. The penetration rate is still low because the rural markets are not well served and there is opportunity to expand there. So if you ask me to rank order, branded generics would be a big focus area for Dr. Reddy's going forward, given the sustainability of revenue. We'll of course continue to build our European and US businesses. And after that, it is probably Latin America and Russia.
Okay. If you had to bet on a breakthrough technology in the next decade, which one would it be and why?
I'd like to find a cure for cancer. I mean, cancer is not one disease, it's many diseases. But in my lifetime, if I can find cure for any one cancer, that would be a huge accomplishment.
Mm. I think that we've taken a lot of questions. So I think maybe as a last question to all the students who joined and
Yeah.
are going to apply for this whole case study competition destination, Dr. Reddy's. If you had to tell them, one thing to think about while applying themselves to this entire process, what would it be?
One thing to apply or
No,
to
one thing that you would like to tell them how to apply themselves when they're
when
dreaming.
if they're selected and joined Dr. Reddy's, yeah, use your time here to learn, improve, and do really impactful work. And if you're not getting an impactful role, move on. Don't waste your time.
Okay. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Prasad.
Thank you.
For everybody who's online, the registrations have been open since the 24th of July. So you can go and apply, and we hope to see you at the case study showcase. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.